Tom was cleaning the bathroom with his daughter when he saw her in the mirror, a woman in white standing behind them. But when he turned around, nobody was there. "She's been watching us clean," 5-year-old Lucy said calmly. She looked sad. The mystery had just begun. Before watching full story, comment below from where you watching. Also like and subscribe for more stories. Tom Parker was scrubbing the bathroom tiles while his 5-year-old daughter Lucy sat on the floor, organizing his cleaning supplies by color. It was their Sunday routine, cleaning the small apartment they shared after Lucy's mother had died 2 years ago. "Daddy, why do we have to clean the bathroom?" Lucy asked, holding up a bottle of blue cleaner. "Because clean places make us feel better, sweetheart," Tom replied, wiping sweat from his forehead. "And because..." Tom stopped mid-sentence and dropped his sponge. In the bathroom mirror, he could see the reflection of a woman standing in the doorway behind them. She had long black hair, pale skin, and was wearing a white dress that seemed to glow in the dim light. But when Tom spun around to look at the doorway, no one was there. "Daddy, what's wrong?" Lucy asked, noticing her father's shocked expression. Tom looked back at the mirror. The woman was still there, standing perfectly still, staring directly at him. But the doorway remained empty. "Lucy, do you see anything in the mirror?" Tom asked carefully. Lucy looked at the mirror and tilted her head. "I see you and me, Daddy. And the pretty lady." Tom's heart nearly stopped. "You can see her too?" "She's been watching us clean. She looks sad." Lucy waved at the mirror. "Hi, lady." The woman in the mirror raised her hand slightly as if waving back. Then she pointed toward the living room and disappeared. Tom grabbed Lucy's hand. "Come on, sweetheart. We need to check something." They rushed to the living room, but it was completely empty. Tom checked every room in their small apartment. Nothing. No signs that anyone had been there. "Where did she go, Daddy?" Lucy asked, disappointed. "I don't know, baby. Maybe we imagined it. But she was real. She had pretty eyes like Mommy's." Tom felt a chill run down his spine. Lucy's mother, Sarah, had indeed had beautiful eyes. But Lucy barely remembered her mother, who had died when Lucy was only 3. That night, Tom couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about the woman in the mirror. Had it been a hallucination? Stress from being a single father? But Lucy had seen her too, and children didn't usually have the same hallucinations as adults. The next morning, Tom was making breakfast when Lucy came running into the kitchen. "Daddy, the pretty lady is back. She's in my bedroom." Tom dropped his spatula and rushed to Lucy's room. It was empty, but Lucy was pointing at her toy mirror on the dresser. "She's right there, Daddy. Can't you see her?" Tom looked at the mirror and gasped. The same woman was there, but this time she was holding something in her hands. It looked like a photograph. "What is she holding, Lucy?" Tom asked. "A picture. She wants to show it to us." The woman in the mirror held up the photograph. Tom couldn't make out the details, but it looked like a picture of 3 people, a man, a woman, and a small child. Suddenly the woman mouthed something. Tom couldn't hear any sound, but he could read her lips clearly. "Help me." Then she vanished again. Tom spent the entire day thinking about what he had seen. That evening he decided to do some research. He went online and looked up the history of their apartment building. What he found made his blood run cold. 3 years ago, a woman named Rebecca Morris had lived in their exact apartment with her husband David and their daughter Mia. According to news reports, Rebecca had disappeared mysteriously one night, leaving behind her family and all her belongings. The police had investigated but never found any trace of her. Even more shocking, Rebecca Morris looked exactly like the woman Tom and Lucy had been seeing in the mirrors. Tom found David Morris's contact information and called him, his hands shaking as he dialed. "Hello?" a man's voice answered. "Mr. Morris? This is Tom Parker. I live in the apartment where you used to live with your family. I know this sounds crazy, but I think I've been seeing your wife." There was a long silence. "What did you say?" "Your wife, Rebecca. She appears in our mirrors. My daughter can see her too. She seems to be trying to tell us something." "That's impossible. Rebecca has been missing for 3 years. I know this sounds insane, but please, can you come over? I think she needs help." David Morris arrived an hour later. He was a tall man with tired eyes and gray hair that had probably turned gray from stress. When he saw Tom, he looked skeptical and worried. "Mr. Parker, I appreciate you calling, but my wife is gone. The police searched for months. She just vanished. I understand why you don't believe me. But please just look at this." Tom led David to the bathroom where he and Lucy had first seen Rebecca. Lucy was sitting on the floor again playing with her toys. When she saw David, she smiled. "Are you the man from the picture?" Lucy asked innocently. David's face went white. What picture? The one the pretty lady showed us. You were in it with her and a little girl. David knelt down to Lucy's level. Can you see the pretty lady now? Lucy looked at the bathroom mirror. She's there. She's pointing at you. David looked at the mirror and gasped. Tom could see that David was seeing Rebecca too, tears streaming down his face. Rebecca? David whispered. Is that really you? The woman in the mirror nodded and pointed toward the living room again. This time, all three of them followed her reflection as it moved from mirror to mirror throughout the apartment. In the living room, Rebecca's reflection stopped at a large mirror on the wall. She pointed down toward the floor beneath the mirror, then made a digging motion with her hands. She wants us to dig? Tom asked. Rebecca nodded urgently and pointed again at the floor. David was crying openly now. Rebecca, what happened to you? Where did you go? Rebecca held up 3 fingers, then pointed to David, then to herself, then made a violent gesture across her throat. 3 years ago, someone hurt you? David interpreted. Rebecca nodded and pointed at the floor again more insistently. Tom went to his tool closet and got a crowbar. Are you sure about this? What if we're damaging the apartment? I have to know, David said firmly. They moved the furniture and pulled up the carpet. Underneath they found loose floorboards. Tom pried them up, revealing a small space beneath the floor. Inside the space they found Rebecca's purse, her jewelry, and a cell phone. David picked up the phone with shaking hands. This is Rebecca's phone. She had it with her the night she disappeared. Tom turned on the phone. It still had some battery life. In the text messages they found something horrifying. The last messages were from Rebecca to David, sent the night she disappeared. David, I found out something terrible about Mr. Henderson. He's been stealing money from the company for years. I have proof. I'm going to the police tomorrow. He knows I found out. I think he's coming to the apartment. David, I'm scared. If something happens to me, look under. The message was cut off. Mr. Henderson had been David's business partner and the landlord of the apartment building. After Rebecca's disappearance, Henderson had sold the building and moved out of state. He killed her, David whispered. Henderson killed Rebecca because she found out about his embezzlement. Rebecca's reflection appeared in the mirror again. This time she was smiling sadly and nodding. She pointed to David, then to Lucy, then to Tom, and made a gesture that looked like gratitude. She's thanking us, Lucy said. The pretty lady is happy now. Rebecca blew a kiss to David, waved goodbye to Tom and Lucy, and slowly faded away. David called the police immediately. Within hours, investigators had arrived to examine the evidence. The text messages on Rebecca's phone, combined with financial records that Rebecca had hidden in the floorboards, provided enough evidence to reopen the case. Detective Maria Santos interviewed Tom and Lucy about their experiences with Rebecca's spirit. I've been a detective for 20 years, Detective Santos said. I've seen a lot of strange things, but this is definitely unusual. However, the evidence is real, and that's what matters. The investigation moved quickly. Henderson was tracked down and arrested in Florida. Faced with overwhelming evidence, he confessed to killing Rebecca and hiding her body. Henderson revealed that he had panicked when Rebecca discovered his embezzlement. He had come to the apartment that night to convince her to stay quiet, but when she refused, he had killed her in a moment of rage. Where is her body? David asked during the trial. Henderson led police to a construction site where he had buried Rebecca 3 years ago. Finally, David was able to give his wife a proper burial. At Rebecca's funeral, Tom and Lucy attended to pay their respects. David thanked them for helping solve the mystery of his wife's disappearance. She came to you for a reason, David told Tom. Maybe she knew you would listen and believe. Why did she appear to us specifically? Tom asked. David thought about it. Maybe because you're a single father who lost your wife too. Maybe she knew you would understand loss and be willing to help another family find closure. Lucy tugged on David's jacket. Mister, where's your little girl? The one from the picture? David's face became sad. Mia lives with her grandmother now. After Rebecca disappeared, I couldn't take care of her properly. I was too depressed and confused. That's sad, Lucy said simply. Everyone should have their family together. Tom looked at David and made a decision. David, would you like to have dinner with us sometime? Lucy could use more people in her life, and maybe you could use some company too. David smiled for the first time since Tom had met him. I'd like that very much. Over the following months, Tom and David became close friends. David began getting his life back together with Tom's support and encouragement. Eventually, David was able to get custody of Mia again. The two single fathers helped each other navigate the challenges of raising daughters alone. Lucy and Mia became best friends, and slowly, both families began to heal from their losses. 1 year after Rebecca's spirit had first appeared, Tom was cleaning the bathroom again with Lucy. This time Mia and David were helping too. "Do you think the pretty lady will come back?" Lucy asked, looking at the bathroom mirror. "I don't think so, sweetheart," Tom replied. "She got what she needed. She found peace. And she helped us find each other," David added, smiling at his daughter Mia. As they cleaned together, Tom reflected on how one mysterious encounter had changed all their lives. Rebecca's spirit had not only solved her own murder, but had also brought two broken families together. Maybe that was her real purpose, Tom thought. Not just to find justice, but to make sure no one else had to be alone. That night, as Tom tucked Lucy into bed, she asked him a question that made his heart warm. "Daddy, do you think Mommy's spirit is watching over us too?" Tom kissed Lucy's forehead. "I think all the people who love us are watching over us, sweetheart. And sometimes when we need help the most, they find ways to reach us." "Like the pretty lady did?" "Exactly like the pretty lady did." Lucy smiled and closed her eyes, feeling safe in the knowledge that love continues even after death, and that sometimes the most mysterious encounters lead to the most beautiful friendships. From that day forward, Tom never feared seeing spirits in mirrors. He had learned that sometimes the supernatural world reaches out to the living not to frighten them, but to heal them, and to remind them that love, justice, and family connections are stronger than death itself. 6 months later, something wonderful happened. David proposed to Tom's neighbor, a kind woman named Maria who had also lost her husband and was raising her son alone. The wedding was small but beautiful, held in the same apartment building where Rebecca's spirit had brought them all together. Lucy and Mia were flower girls, walking down the makeshift aisle in the building's courtyard. Tom was David's best man, and Maria's son Carlos became like a brother to both girls. During the wedding ceremony, Lucy looked up at the apartment windows and smiled. For just a moment, she thought she saw a woman in white watching from the window, looking peaceful and happy. "Did you see her?" Lucy whispered to Mia. "The pretty lady?" "Yes, she's smiling," Mia whispered back. After the ceremony, Tom started dating again for the first time since Sarah's death. He met Jennifer, a teacher at Lucy's school who understood the challenges of being a single parent. Jennifer had been widowed young too, and she and Tom connected over their shared experiences. "It's like Rebecca's spirit set everything in motion," Tom told David one evening as they watched their children play together in the courtyard. "She didn't just solve her own murder, she brought all of us together." David nodded, holding his new wife Maria close. "She gave us all a second chance at happiness." As the months passed, Tom and Jennifer's relationship grew stronger. She was patient with Lucy, who was still adjusting to the idea of her father dating someone new. "Is Jennifer going to be my new mommy?" Lucy asked Tom one night. "Would you like that, sweetheart?" Lucy thought carefully. "I think Mommy would want me to have someone to take care of me. And Jennifer is really nice. She makes you smile again." A year later, Tom and Jennifer were married in the same courtyard where David and Maria had wed. Lucy wore her mother's locket, feeling like Sarah was there with them in spirit. During the reception, Detective Santos approached Tom with an update on Henderson's case. "Henderson pleaded guilty to murder in the first degree," she said. "He'll spend the rest of his life in prison. But there's something else you should know." "What's that?" "Henderson admitted to killing 2 other people who discovered his embezzlement scheme. Rebecca's case helped us solve those murders too. Because of what you and your daughter witnessed, 3 families now have closure." Tom was amazed. Rebecca's spirit helped solve 3 murders? "It appears so. Sometimes justice finds a way even from beyond." That night, as Tom tucked Lucy into bed in their new house with Jennifer, Lucy asked him about Rebecca. "Do you think the pretty lady knows that everyone is happy now?" "I think she does, sweetheart. I think she can rest peacefully knowing that her family is okay and that justice was served. And that we all found each other? Especially that." Lucy smiled and closed her eyes. "I'm going to tell Mommy about everything in my dreams. I think she and the pretty lady are friends now." As Tom turned off the light, he felt a sense of completion that he hadn't experienced since Sarah's death. Rebecca's spirit had appeared to them for a reason, setting in motion a chain of events that had healed multiple families and brought justice to multiple victims. 2 years after the first supernatural encounter, the apartment building was renovated and turned into a community center. David, now successful again with his legitimate business, had bought the building and transformed it into a place where single parents could find support, resources, and friendship. The center was named the Rebecca Morris Community Center, honoring the woman whose spirit had brought so many people together. On the opening day, Tom, Lucy, Jennifer, David, Mia, Maria, and Carlos all gathered in the main hall. A plaque on the wall read, "In memory of Rebecca Morris, whose love transcended death and whose spirit brought healing to many." Lucy placed a bouquet of white flowers beneath the plaque. "Thank you, pretty lady," she whispered, "for helping us find our families." As they stood together, Tom realized that Rebecca's gift hadn't just been solving her own murder. Her greatest gift had been showing them that even in death, love continues to work miracles, bringing people together when they need each other most. The community center thrived, helping hundreds of single parents and their children over the years. Tom and Jennifer had 2 more children together, but Lucy always remained special as the little girl who had first seen Rebecca's spirit. Years later, when Lucy was a teenager, she would volunteer at the community center, telling her story to other children who had lost parents. She would explain that love never really dies and that sometimes when we're open to believing, we can receive help from the most unexpected sources. "The pretty lady taught me that family isn't just about blood," Lucy would tell the children. "It's about people who choose to love and take care of each other. And sometimes, even people we never met can become part of our family by helping us when we need it most." One evening, as adult Lucy was leaving the community center after a volunteer shift, she glanced back at the building and smiled. For just a moment, she thought she saw a figure in white standing in one of the windows, watching over all the families who had found hope and healing within those walls. "Thank you," Lucy whispered to the night air. "For everything." The wind rustled the trees gently as if in response, and Lucy felt a warm peace settle over her heart. She had learned that miracles often come disguised as ordinary moments, and that the greatest supernatural gift isn't seeing ghosts, it's seeing how love can reach across any boundary, even death itself, to heal broken hearts and bring families together. As Lucy drove home to her own family, she had become a social worker and married a man who shared her passion for helping others. She reflected on how one mysterious woman in a mirror had changed the course of so many lives. Rebecca Morris had appeared to them not as a frightening ghost, but as a guardian angel whose mission was to ensure that no family would have to suffer alone. Through her supernatural intervention, she had created a legacy of love, justice, and community that would continue for generations. And sometimes, late at night when the community center was quiet, staff members would report seeing a gentle figure in white walking the halls, watching over the families who came seeking help, reminding everyone that love truly is stronger than death, and that the greatest hauntings are those that heal rather than frighten. The bathroom where it all began was now a children's playroom in the community center, filled with laughter and joy. And if you looked closely at the mirrors in that room, sometimes you could see the reflection of a woman in white, smiling peacefully as she watched over the children whose lives had been touched by her gift of bringing families together through the most mysterious and beautiful of circumstances.